Welcome to Storyboard 18 Visionaries, an event that celebrated visionaries in the world of marketing. Our focus in this episode is on exceptional CMOs who catapulted their companies and brands to new heights through their outstanding work. The inaugural edition of Storyboard 18 Visionaries was recently held at Gurugram. Storyboard 18 Visionaries provided a platform for the sharpest minds in brand marketing to convene, celebrate excellence, and exchange ideas that power growth. The event kicked off with a special talk by none other than Suresh Narayanan, the dynamic chairman and managing director of Nestle India Limited, setting the tone for an inspiring journey into the realm of marketing visionaries, matching innovation and purpose.
If there is only one thing that you have to remember at the end of my time that I have today, is the Doha of Kabir. वृक्ष कबू नहीं फल बके, नदी न सींचे नीर, परमारथ के कारण साधुन धरा शरीर. Vruksha, the tree never eats its fruit, the river never drinks its water. It is for the sake of mankind that the sadhu has donned life form on earth. That is the role of leadership. I have got not 3 but almost 4 decades of experience in the trenches to have learnt a few principles. The first principle of leadership that I've learnt is that everyone must have an attitude in a positive spirit. It's all about having a mindset to say that I will overcome and that we shall overcome. If there's one statement from Mahatma Gandhi that you need to remember, is the fact that a leader is not known by the followers he has, it is by the leaders he makes. That's your role as marketeers, that's your role as CEOs. The second principle is authenticity. So be authentic. The fact of the matter is that you're at least true to your skin, and being true to your skin gives you a power that is enormous. The third principle is of agility. This is a world where you have to discard your thoughts every second day. So agility and therefore adaptability. Both of these are becoming extremely important in your profession. You see heroes becoming zeros, not so much because of lousy strategies, it's because of lousy leadership. Purpose, people, planet, partnerships, and you will finally get performance. हम क्या करते हैं? पहले performance and last people, and maybe partnerships grudgingly, if at all we think that partnerships are worthwhile. That is the core essence of who we are as marketeers, who we are as leaders, who we are as people who have to make things happen. So remember, competence, clarity, confidence, creativity, and finally, something that we have forgotten in this world today, compassion. And since all of you marketeers speak the language of the consumer, I would leave you with the Doha of Kabir. ऐसी बानी बोलिए, मन का आपा खोए, औरन को शीतल करे, आपू शीतल होए. Thank you all very much for your patient listening. Thank you.
The initial round of felicitations at Storyboard 18 Visionaries illuminated the stage, honoring outstanding achievers from Shashank Srivastav of Maruti Suzuki India to Saurabh Jain of Reckitt, Paras Sharma of Meta, Anup Manohar from Axis Bank, Karthik Mohindra of Pernod Ricard India, Rajat Abbey of Schneider Electric, Rahul Singh from SAP, Raj Rishi Singh of Make My Trip, and Rahul Talwar of Max Life. The evening also featured a captivating discussion moderated by Storyboard 18's Delshad Irani, with distinguished participants such as Kulmeet Bawa, President and MD SAP India, Asim Kaushik, MD L'Oreal India, Pratibha Mohapatra, VP and MD Adobe India, Sukleen Aneja, CEO Good Glam Group, Madhav Sheth, CEO H-Tech, and Devendra Chawla, CEO Green Cell Mobility. They explored the relationship between CEOs and their CMOs and the potential for CMOs to ascend to the role of CEOs.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this intriguing panel discussion on CEOs and CMOs, partners in growth. Let me just start off with a very simple question, but perhaps in its simplicity lies the challenge. I'm just going to go to all of you, each of you, and ask you in one word to tell me what the CMO or your marketing leadership's role means to you. Madhav, I'll come to you first. One word.
Trust.
Critical.
Pratibha?
Customer experience.
Okay.
Consumer first.
Asim?
Revolution. Revolution.
Revolution.
Partnership.
Lovely. So that says a lot, I think, here, and it is a relationship that, of course, is transforming. But Kulmeet, let me just come to you first and tell me, what are your expectations of your CMO?
Expectations, number one, of course, would be demand creation, demand generation, which is something that translates into a real, robust pipeline for us, which in the near term or a little longer term can translate into business. And along with that, what's extremely important to me, Dilshad, when I interact with Rahul is how do we build creativity even in building demand, building, generating demand and generating pipeline. So number one is demand gen. Number two would be very clearly, customer experience, like Pratibha said, is front and center at every single touch point that somebody interacts online, offline. And of course, I can come up with examples. And lastly is the holding the brand image for us and also translating it to the local market, local environment. So keep what SAP means and then have it rooted into what India demands from a nation perspective.
Rasim, let me come to you and ask you, what are the key qualities of a CMO today, especially in such complex times, right?
Digital becomes an eminent part of what you do today in marketing. And when you're a CMO, and specifically for L'Oreal, and we are a very old, 100-year-old company, which is purely doing only beauty, right? And almost 8-9 years ago, L'Oreal realized that technology becomes very, very imperative if we have to continue to grow. So we re-christened ourselves as not just a beauty company, but as a beauty tech company. CMO for L'Oreal in India, Saloni, who works for us, is actually a CDMO. She is the Chief Digital and Marketing Officer. So it inherently then becomes part of what you do on a regular level, when you're looking at consumers, when you're looking at building your brands, when you're looking at eventually creating demand, as we say, and build a profitable business in the end. So digital becomes a very, very core part of now a CMO's responsibility.
Pratibha, I'm going to ask you about quickly, if you could just tell us what are the pain points? Is there a little bit of perhaps murkiness with expectations again when it comes to the CEO and the CMO relationship, the partnership? How do you forge that, get past those pain points?
I think not pain points, it's the expectation which is changing. So it's the evolution of the role of marketing and hence the expectations between the CEO and CMO. For that matter, CEO and every CXO Absolutely. Is changing rapidly. So the conflict comes when there is a expectation mismatch. So clearly laying out the expectation, which is, hey, you are my CMO, what do I expect from you? Number one, you have to be my speed dial for anything customer-centric. If I call you up and ask, tell me why is this customer segment behaving this way? Or why is this customer segment not behaving this way? So the CMO should know that the CEO expects him or her to be the speed dial for everything customer-centric. Second, of course, you are the brand custodian, so something's not going well with our brand, and I will call you up and ask you, hey, what happened? What happened to this pitch? Was it even relevant? So you are my custodian of brand. And last but not least is, in the new world order, we expect the CMOs to own some clear business outcomes. So these are the three expectations which I would clearly lay out. And if that's clear, there'll be no conflict. It'll be a damn good job. And that's why many of the CMOs are becoming CEOs as well.
Madhav, there are expectations, of course, of CMOs, but there are also, it's the other way too, right? Expectations of CEOs. It's a two-sided relationship. How does it work for you?
I was going through a study where it was very clearly mentioned that only 30% of the CEOs trust their CMOs.
I have seen that study.
30%? Only 30%.
Yeah.
Which means that 70% of the people or 70% of the CEOs don't trust their CMOs. The reason is only because it's more about the marketing jargons, what the CMOs speak. And I believe the CEOs want their probably CMOs to be involved with the business discussions, part of their strategies, and make sure that probably they understand the ROI language. So probably I think, to answer your question, it is extremely important that CEO gives them a passage to a CMO to make sure that probably they are part of all the strategies. They understand what is the business vision so they can drive the value to the customer. The most important thing is the CMO has to drive the value to the customer. It's not just about communicating to the customer, it's about the company's values which have been downloaded to the customer, and that is extremely important.
Let me come to you, Sukleen, and if you could just perhaps, pick up from where Madhav left off. What can you sort of perhaps share with us from your movement from a CMO to CEO? And running, of course, a homegrown company, fairly new in the game.
I think, all of us today in the room would say without a doubt that the very reason why we're here is because we're bearing the fruit of the brands that we've built. So today, I think every single CMO can never forget that irrespective of the world moving to digital or still working with a traditional first approach, basic fundamental human needs have not shifted. So sometimes what seems easy today hurts us in the long term. So I think finding that balance, and if both CMOs and CEOs are in sync on the business and the brands they want to build, and the fundamental reason why your brand exists. If today your brand has a mission towards a purpose, and that purpose fundamentally then has to drive everything that you do. And then if that mission is in sync, I don't think the two functions will ever have contraring objectives.
Devendra, I have to come to you next. I also want to sort of get your quick comment on what Madhav said about marketers and jargon.
Yeah, and I'll first comment on what Madhav said about that study where 70% CEOs don't trust their CMOs. I think more than the CMOs, it speaks about the CEO. I think they have trust issues. To not trust your own marketing person, that's quite news. We come from an era we were always told in marketing when we were younger that marketing is effective, we don't know which half, remember? And then came digital. And then came performance marketing, and somebody said, oh, we can measure it, like what you're spending and what you're getting. And that's fantastic in the age of digital, and you can't take away from it. Like, we're going to live in that world. But the problem is we've made marketing very transactional, right? And this whole thing of customer acquisition cost and the budgets which comes with it, I think has given a very myopic view to what marketing has become today, which is sort of sad. Because when an innovation or a product has been built, apparently now marketing comes after it, right? Innovation is made and you're going to market it. To my mind, I think marketing comes much before it. Are you ready for the innovation? Is the organization ready for the innovation? So marketing has to move on from customer acquisition and customer retention and all these jargons which we all use. I think it's all about the purpose. Why is the company there? And understand what are the pain points or what motivates the consumer and what is the product market fit.
Brave new world, exciting new world, and new partnerships, CEOs, CMOs, CFOs. Of course, this merits a longer discussion. We didn't even get into budgets, talk about budgets. But thank you so much. Thank you all for joining us this evening and celebrating this glorious room full of marketers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dilshad.
Thank you, Dilshad.
The second set of felicitations saw top marketers from various industries recognized for their contributions to the field of marketing. This included Apurva Sarkar of Bandhan Bank, Ashish Tiwari of Home Credit India, Chandan Mukherjee of Nestle, Hardeep Barar from Kia India, Sumit Mathur of Paytm, Aditya Babbar of Samsung India, and Anita Nair of Patanjali Ayurveda. The visionary founder and executive vice chairman of InfoEdge, Sanjeev Bikhchandani, discussed the startup landscape in India through a fireside chat with Vani Gupta Dandia.
Sanjeev, since this event is called Visionaries, let's start by with the concept of visionaries. Did you see yourself as a visionary when you started Naukri?
No. Naukri was a small idea. Basically, when we launched Naukri, there were 14,000 internet accounts in the country. This is 97. We had no idea where the internet will go, what will happen. There was no .com valuation, there was no venture capital, there was nothing. मेरा एक simple idea था कि if we can get 500 companies every month to pay 1,000 rupees to list one job on the site, you'll get 5 lakhs a month. That's sales target, sir. Right? You'll get 5 lakhs a month. That's 60 lakhs a year. I was running a small company out of the servant quarter of the garage in my house. And we were doing 12 lakhs a year turnover, doing a few things. And sometimes I could take a salary, sometimes I could not. And I said, yaar, agar 60 lakh ho jaye 3 saal mein, to meri tankha nikal jayegi. Right? And my whole aim was, if in 3 years I can do 60 lakhs in a year, शायद 10 लाख प्रॉफिट बन जाए, शायद मैं 5 लाख तनख्वाह ले लूँ. That was my only aim. And now, so vision, according to me, is very often what others attribute to successful people in hindsight.
Talk to us about the role of advertising. Is it possible to build a strong brand with no advertising money or with very little advertising money?
In the world we inhabit, it is possible. I'm not saying we do it. We do spend on marketing. Sumit is here. But look, how much has Google spent on advertising? Is it a big brand? How much has Facebook spent on advertising? Is it a big brand? So it's possible. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it or the best way to do it, but it's possible. If you are solving an unsolved problem, chances are the customer will buy your product without you having to sell. And in all our categories where we've done well, we've created the category, we've pioneered the category. We were the first job site, Zomato was the first restaurant listing site, Policy Bazaar was the first insurance comparison site. If you're pioneering a category and you're giving people something they need, it'll sell without advertising. Advertising is an accelerator. It makes a good product succeed faster. It makes a bad product fail faster.
The next set of felicitations celebrated accomplished marketers representing a variety of industries, recognizing their impactful contributions to the world of marketing. This featured Rajiv Jain from DS Group, Ruchira Jetli of Diageo India, Vikrant Mudliar from Dream 11, and Virat Khullar of Hyundai Motor India. The event further encompassed insightful conversations, one on the state of media quality in India, led by Saurabh Khattar, Country Manager for India at Integral Ad Science, and another on the promising future of generative AI in marketing, guided by the founder and CEO of GAN.ai, Suvrat Bhushan. Both discussions were led by Storyboard 18 Shibani Gharat.
Saurabh, thank you for joining us. First of all, tell us, how is it imperative for the Indian advertisers to actually, think about media quality as a focal point for their strategies?
Let me talk about media quality first. Media quality, what is media quality? So media quality is a measure of how safe, suitable, and efficient an advertising channel is. And it encompasses 3 major things. First, brand safety and suitable. Are advertisers sharing their advertisements around safe and suitable content, or it's around harmful and offensive content? Second is ad fraud, making sure that advertisements are around non-fraudulent placements and there is no invalid or bot traffic. And the third most important parameter is viewability and attention matrix, actually making sure that ads are viewable and seen.
thank you for your participation. Thank you for sharing these insights with us. Thank you so much. If you can share with us, how can AI help create, innovative, creative campaigns?
If you were in school, the teacher, like I'm sure a lot of you have tuned out to what I'm saying as well, right? But if I were to go to you and say, what is your name? And, like I say, like, Anupreet, listen to me, please, for the next, I will have your attention for the next 30 seconds. Like, all of you will start paying attention to me if I say, sir, please listen to me, like, whatever your name is, right? And that's sort of, the core nuance of the technology that we are powering. You essentially can get, Virat Kohli to, shoot for you. But it doesn't really matter to your core audience. But if I can sort of, have Virat Kohli address every single person by their name, say, Suvrat, like, please come buy the smartphone that I'm launching. Like, you will pay attention. Like, that person will be just forced to listen to what this person is saying. And that's sort of the attention that we can get you. We can get that 30 seconds of a person's attention and make him listen to the message that you're trying to convey.
Thank you so much, Suvrat. Thanks for sharing these insights with us. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's embrace the power of AI in marketing and lead the way in this transformative era. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
In the final round of awards, top marketers were applauded for their outstanding contributions. This round featured recognition for exemplary marketers such as Amya Velankar from Uber India, Nidhi Hola from Dell Technologies, and Bhairavi Rangarajan of Kohler India Corporation. Inaugural edition of Storyboard 18 Visionaries proved to be a resounding success, a remarkable gathering that exalted excellence in marketing and innovation. As the event concluded, all participants departed not only inspired but also enriched by the invaluable insights and experiences shared.